Okay, welcome back to the channel. We've got the suspension work here we're gonna do today. I've got everything I need ready and set up. We're gonna go through changing some parts, so let me show you what I got right here. I got a lower control arm, ball joint for that. I got an outer tie rod in, and I have an upper control arm, which has the ball joint already on it. And then I also have a sway bar link we're gonna be changing out. And then we're gonna clean everything up in here a little bit too, because it is kind of dirty from a lot of oil and leaking stuff under there. So the other thing with that, the ball joints, you actually are going to need a ball joint press. Need that to do the lower control arm ball joint to get the new one pressed in there. Other than that, I think we should just get started and show you how to do some of these suspension parts. Now, once this is done, I can kind of align it myself slightly by just adjusting the outer tie rod right here, but I still will need to take it to an alignment shop so that way that we can get it nice and straight, steering wheel straight, and hopefully we're getting straight down the road. Let's get digging into this. All right, we're inside. This is your suspension makeup. So this is, you know, what's gonna get your strut, it's your up and down dampening. You got your control arms, which just help with your movement and still up and down control. Your tie rod ends are here. That's gonna help with your steering and going straight. And then of course your rotor, your brake system here where your tires are gonna go. This is this whole makeup. So this was your entirety of your suspension for your front to keep things rolling. Now this has got the transmission, everything up front here. So you also got your drive line here or your CV axles that run up into your motor this way or your transmission that way. But we're gonna focus on getting this out. So the first thing we're gonna do is we got a strut fork here. We're gonna get that out so we can get it out of the way, and then we're gonna work on the tie rod linkage as well. So let's get this one going. So I am gonna use my impact, but if you don't have an impact, you can just use a regular breaker bar. So this is a 17 millimeter. That's gonna work for this. You will also need a 17 millimeter wrench to go on both sides, because one side's a nut and one side is just a bolt. Okay, it looks like I'll probably need a hammer for that. So I just have a dead blow here, and we're gonna pop that there. I may end up having to get a punch to get it the rest of the way out, but for now that's fine. And then we got the upper ones, which I do believe these are different. See? Yes. The top ones are a 14 millimeter. Socket wrench this time. And try to break it off that way. Milwaukee. I'll get this out the rest of the way a little quicker. Okay, there's that bolt done. Okay, get this bolt out. That's for your lower. Just gonna put these two together so I don't lose them. Now you should have a little more play with your whole strut. That'll make it a little easier to get a wrench around your sway bar linkage back here. So your sway bar linkage is right down here, which is this part right here. Let's get this sway bar link right here off. Okay, this one right here and up here are both gonna be a 14 millimeter socket. The only thing with these is sometimes you need an Allen wrench behind here that sticks inside the bolt itself to hold it. But right now we're just gonna break it. What I got is a 3/16 Allen wrench. Take your wrench and then you would stick it in there to hold it, and then you can operate the wrench. All right, Allen wrench behind it. There we go. Okay, and sway bar link. All right, from here we're gonna get the lower control arm off. So you have one bolt here and then a nut, and then there's another one on the other side over there we gotta do. But this is just a 19 millimeter. All right, this is the left side of the lower control arm, so it's hard to see, but right back here, There's a bolt that runs here. We got to get this one off. This is actually a 17. See if I can just break it first. If I can get it on there. I've got a flex head on this, or swivel head. Not the easiest, so we're gonna get that on there. There it goes, slightly. Let's see. There we go. All right. Before we continue on there, I want to get the ball joint started. So this is the castle nut and this little pin we got to take off. And bend that. Somebody put some kind of custom thing in here because that's not how that's supposed to be. So what I did is I put the jack right barely on the rotor. You gotta be careful. You don't want to lift that too much, but that should be good. Let's get the spindle off so we can get all this stuff off of here. Well, we've got the controller mostly off, but we're gonna get the spindle nut off here. This is actually a 36 millimeter one. If I don't get this guy off, let's get this thing off.
Now, I got a little ahead of myself and started using the impact, and I totally forgot, hey, I need to use the punch on this because it's usually notched, so that way that nut doesn't come off. So now let me just try to punch it. And my current issue now is the spindle nut. I've been trying to get it off, but the problem is when they punched it, it was punched on the threads. And that's not correct. It's supposed to be punched on a notch, so that way that nut doesn't come off. So I have been really wrenching on this. I've gotten my big pry bars, my big breaker bar. I've done multiple ways to get this off. And the one thing I know is it has to come off because the ball joint's attached to the spindle. And I need this all to come off to get that changed. So I'm going to do everything I can and we're going to get this spindle nut off. Oh, finally. Okay, we got the spindle nut off. That was a pain. I tried a couple different ways. So we are golden now. Time to move on.
So from here, we're just gonna get this nut off. We gotta get some of these pieces off because we need to get this whole spindle off right here so we can get the ball joint off right here with the press. So all this has gotta come off. So I wanna get this done and then we'll check back here in a moment. All right, the caliper right here is off. I could have taken this whole thing, but I just wanted that off. Now we need to get this castle nut that's right here. It's kind of hard to see. That's right there off. So this is a 17 millimeter socket for this. All right, so got it out of here. So now this whole spindle right here is just free. This part's kind of a little hard because you got it on the CV axle, and sometimes they can get a little stuck in here. So you might have to hit a little bit, but hit lightly.
Okay, so I seem to have forgot that the outer tie rod is still on and I can't get the spindle off with that on. So I'm going to bang this thing out so we can move forward and continue the repairs.
All right, popped off there. Great. It's not easy. We'll have to hit like that. There we go. All right. Now we've got the whole spindle off. This thing is heavy. So this is your ball joint right here. This is gonna come out. Since I'm already changing everything, I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. So it's gonna be a bit of a pain, but we're gonna get this thing off of here as it needs to go. And then we'll clean everything up all in here. We got a bolt back here. I gotta get that one off real quick. Harbor Freight pry tool. Try to kind of pry this out a little bit here. All right, let's try something a little different here. We're gonna go up underneath, kind of pull up on it. Huh, look at that, this thing popped right out of there. Normally that doesn't happen that easy. This thing definitely needed to be replaced too. It's all worn, see it's cracking. But yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Not cool at all. All right, come on, buddy. Get out of there. Out with the old. Bam, right there. One of the things I do like to do when I'm digging into my cars is you can see it's a mess back here. I'm gonna take some time and I gotta clean this up a little bit. It's just not something I like to put things back together and it be all gross again. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna make a mess everywhere and then clean it up.
We're all clean in the suspension and frame area now. It's time to move on to the ball joint. The spindle's off, so we have access that we need. So what I'm going to use is a universal ball joint kit. We're gonna try this out, see if we can't get this ball joint off pretty quickly with no issues and no fumbling around. Well, there goes trying to get this done quickly. This isn't working, so I'm going to resort to just hammering the crap out of it now because I can't keep fooling with this and we need this thing out.
All right, welcome back. This is another day. Started doing a little work on the Acura, but I kind of ran into an issue trying to get the strut tower brace off, which goes across that way. Whoever did this work before me decided that it was a great idea to put these on so tight that no matter what I did, I was not able to get them off. So I had to ensue with carnage. Now this is a little hard to see, but there's the top of a bolt and it should look like that, but it's still chewed up. I had to hammer a smaller size onto these because the size it was supposed to be wouldn't work. It just kept slipping right on it. Whatever, it's off now. I'll put some new bolts on it. It's an easy one to do. What we're gonna do now is we gotta get these 3 bolts off here. This is what holds your strut on place. We'll take the first 2 off and then the back one, once you take this one off, it'll actually drop that strut out. So you kind of have to like hold one hand underneath and one up top to make sure that that strut doesn't fall down. So I'm using the breaker bar on this because this mishap with these last ones, yeah, I'm not gonna take my chances because I used my regular wrench last time and that seemed to not be the ticket. Let me get this straight, there we go. All right, so pray for me here. Oh yeah, that sucker's on there tight. Okay. Have one hand here, one hand underneath, so that way the strut doesn't just completely fall down. There we go. Okay. One strut off. We only got a whole nother side to do, but this is a good step. And this is heavy. All right, moving on. This is a 10mm here. We got to get this bracket off so we can get our upper control arm. There's your ball joint. We're replacing that. It comes with the whole kit. Pull that off. 14 mil is what this one is. Get this off. Next side. Take that off. Bam. One upper control arm. New part. Cool. All right, we're gonna get this cap off. You don't want to leave that on there. Don't need it. Check that out. So it's hard to tell, but you see this ball joint, it's nice and plump. That was kind of smashed. Our bushings here, they look good to be honest. They don't look too bad. I do need to get a screwdriver so I can get this leveled off the way I need to. So, un momento. All right, let's get this put on real quick. One thing that's nice, it does stamp here right, but it's a hard one to mess up. Just put it in the same way as you took out your last one. I mean, oh moly, there's spiders up in there. Yikes. Anyways, I'm getting off task. You're just trying to get the bolt in. Kind of get a few turns. Same thing, we're just trying to get it in. We're just kind of trying to get it about that height. Is what we're going to try to do. Right. Looks okay to me. I'm going to check it with this. Right? So it should sit about right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a couple of turns with the big wrench. Good. Yeah, there we go. Well, now we're at the point where the strut can go back in and we can start getting these pieces to go back together. It is now time for the strut. All right, I'm not gonna tighten it up fully yet, just so I can get everything belts back in here. I wanna be sure that we're good. You gotta remind me to tighten that back up, because if I don't, ooh, not good. I'll remember, stop. Looking pretty good. We just only have a bunch more to go. We're getting there though. Continue on. Okay, now I'm gonna take off this outer tie rod. I do need to wait for the spindle because that has the ball joint on it, and the kit that I got, that I rented, was the wrong one. But these aren't as bad. You can kind of eyeball these for the most part, and you'll be pretty close. I mean, you still got to get it aligned, but you could definitely do it, even by just, you know, looking down your body line, you know, seeing how far your tires moved in or out. You can get it nice and straight that way. But for now, let's get this off. So I'm gonna hold this and see if I can't get this to rotate off of here. Not a really good way to get in here, because there we go. The whole thing wants to move. But we got it. All right, so but here's the new part. Right there, comes with a new nut and everything, which is cool. All right, so we're gonna spin this one back on. We're gonna go all the way back to this point. Hey, if you like what I'm doing, you like watching this, go ahead and give me a like, and why not subscribe to my channel too? Because, you know, that does a lot for me, for these projects, for everything that you guys are seeing. The more love I get, the more I can get. So go ahead, smash that like, give me a follow, and bam, here is our new one. It's pretty good. I like it. I like the blue. For now, I think we're pretty good on this side. Let me show you the ball joint up that way on the bench so you can see what I was talking about. Dang, that thing's got a dent in it. What in the world did I do there? See that dent? Jeez. All right. Well, I got to get that done. One of the things I got to do is check this oil pan because I think it's leaking pretty bad. If not, it's from the gasket up top, but it is really, really dirty. But let's go check out this ball joint. Whew. Okay, biggest obstacle past all these difficult nuts. We have this ball joint here. So this one is unique because you can see I've been hammering the crap out of it, but it hasn't gone anywhere because you usually get a press and you can press this out. But the problem is that press is big, and the way that this is shaped like this, you can't get the press on there correctly. Now it also has these grooves here. So there's a specific tool that goes here that's cut out here so you can put this on. And as you're putting that pressure on this ball joint press, it pushes this way, and then that piece, the ball joint's able to move through it, and then this comes out. And then to do the reverse, when you put the new one in, you got to go this way and got to compress it into here to this space. But unfortunately, I got to get the tool first. So this one's on hold for now. Hopefully I can get it in the next few days. All right, I finally got the tools I needed 2 auto part stores later to get the ball joint removal kit. So with this, you actually have one that's like cut out like that, and this is the one you have to use. Here we go. And that already is not working. Ball joint press is not really working. So I want the better solution. I'm just gonna beat it out. I've already tried a little bit, but all I'm gonna do is put my socket over that and go to town. Have to do like this.
Well, there you have it. It finally came out, conquered the ball joint. So now all we got to do is get it pressed back into place, and then guess what? We got to do it another time for the other side. So let's get it.
Okay, so finally got everything done as far as the suspension. So here is the passenger side. Nice and clean. I still got some more work I do, but I cleaned it all up back in here. So we got new lower control arms, upper control arms, outer tie rod, sway bar links. Everything looks really good. Let's go look at the other side. So we got the outer tie rod, upper control arm, lower control arm, and then we have the sway bar links. So everything is looking really good. We are done with the suspension. Now there's still more I need to do as far as I've got a new belt and a belt tensioner I want to do for this car. These coil packs are here, so we got to change these out. These are your valve covers, this whole deal here. We got to change this out because oil has been leaking down into here, and I suspect oil is leaking on the other side as well. So we're going to get these off, change that, But in order to do that, we've got to take this off here. So we're gonna got all the gaskets for here, and then our belt, and then our tensioner as well. Because we also got to do motor mount, which are right there. Needless to say, we've got some projects for this car going on. We got to send it off for an alignment. Once the alignment goes, we'll see what he says about how everything looks. Hopefully it's good, because hey, you know, we're just learning, okay? We're figuring this out as we go. But I have confidence of the work I've done. It looks good, feels good, and well, the results we'll see here soon, I guess, right? It has been fun. It has also been not fun, because this has been a pain in the butt with all of the ball joints not working very well. I've got multiple kits. The kits didn't work. Nonetheless, this is mechanics. This is wrenching at its best. It is not the most fun. It is not the most easiest, but you know what? You can get it done. You can do it. It's not that big of a deal. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, and guess what? If you gotta beat something every once in a while, it has a little bit of stress relief. That's all I've got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed everything. Remember, like and subscribe. You wanna see more of this, more is coming, but keep the likes coming so I can keep on giving you guys more and more and more content. I thank you so much. This is Rusted Wrench Garage. I'll check you next time. Later. I don't know what it is. We'll find out together. Yep, nope.